And we are live. Welcome to this edition of Wealthy Wednesday. I am so excited for my guest speaker. I have been waiting to have him on. So I am super excited. Well, my name is Leah Garcia, financial strategist and insurance professional. And it's my crusade to help you properly protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth so you can build that legacy and create generational wealth. But before I kind of move forward, I'm going to have my AI kind of introduce me. My AI is so incredible. You got to check this out.
Are you a business owner looking to secure your financial future and create a lasting legacy? I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional, and I specialize in guiding businesses with up to 50 employees on how to effectively protect and transfer their wealth. We break down silos with my unique approach, the Wall of Wealth. Imagine a seamless collaboration among your CPA, tax attorney, estate planner, and insurance expert, each playing their part in perfect harmony, ensuring your financial strategy is not just effective, but a true masterpiece. My passion stems from my own journey, from growing up on food stamps to dreaming of building community centers that empower others. Together, we'll craft a roadmap that not only safeguards your assets, but also nurtures generational wealth for your loved ones. Let's transform your vision into reality. After all, you can't measure the heart of a champion just by looking at them. Join me, and let's make your financial future shine.
And you truly cannot measure the heart of a champion just by looking at him. Listen, people can't see what's inside you. And today's guest really does speak to my dream. He really does. He probably doesn't even know that. But I will tell you that we have to be more courageous. We have to be willing to get outside there and start meeting people, talking to people, masterminding, collaborating. And I started to watch his things on Instagram. If you are not following him on Instagram, you have to follow him. He puts out incredible content. And why it resonated with me is because he talks about reading and how to communicate with your children. And my precious grandson is 6 years old. And so when I see these messages, it just speaks to my heart. It truly does. And here's the thing is that today we're going to talk about building riches through reading. I believe that readers are leaders, but all leaders really do read. They truly do. I mean, think about the wealthy people that we know about. Warren Buffett is said to read 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day. Think about that. Some of us aren't even awake for 8 hours a day. But I want to introduce my incredible guest speaker. He is a children's book author, motivational speaker, honorary doctorate recipient, a 3 times TEDx presenter. And I'm going to say he is a true champion. He's a champion for our children and really how we can pour belief into them and cultivate this love for reading. So without further ado, please give it up for my incredible guest speaker, Mr. Ty Allen Jackson. Take it away, Ty.
Wow, I don't think a kinder introduction. That's very sweet and very kind of you. It is an honor to be here and to hang out with you. I have to say to start the conversation, I love what I do. I literally feel like I'm in the 1% of their purpose in a joyful, authentic manner. And I think that is the catalyst for success. I think many people want to equate success to just mean monetarily, and while that is definitely a factor, um, when you love what you do, that is.
Oh, you kind of cut out there a little bit. I hope it's not on my end. We do have a few
Oh,
people joining us. My friend Buildng, thank you for joining us from
okay.
Ukraine. He's been a guest
Oh,
speaker.
that's what's up from Ukraine.
Absolutely. He does some
Oh,
incredible content. You guys got to follow him. He's very active on Facebook. And then also my good friend
okay.
Plantin. This gentleman has a heart. He runs a group called the Encouragers. And he really has the heart
Wow.
to encourage others and bringing our community together. Thank you for joining us, Plantin. It is always an honor to have you here. So I think we have a little bit of a delay. Let me know, Plantin, can you let me know if the audio is coming in okay? I'd really appreciate that. So, my precious grandson is 6 years old. He just turned 6. And we've always really wanted to cultivate this love of reading. And so, our story time, my story time with him is one of our sacred times. No matter what happens during the day, no matter what we have going on, we have our story time, we have a reading time, and we have our story time. And he knows that. He absolutely knows that. Before we do anything else, like after bath, we're going to get our books out and we're going to read, and then we're also going to end up telling the story. And I really do believe what you alluded to, Ty. True wealth is having success in all areas, and I call it the 5 F's: in our faith, in our family, in our finance, in our fitness, in our fun. Meaning that we have to be congruent in all areas.
Love that.
We have to bring these
Love
riches
that.
to our children. And so often, I think reading has kind of, unfortunately, sometimes gone the way of the dinosaurs. So bringing reading into our culture is more than just about having the story time, though. And that's what I love about what you share. It's really bringing it into these everyday conversations, trying to bring awareness on maybe something I'm reading, bring that into conversations with my precious grandson, even though he's 6 years old. They can understand these concepts, I promise you. Whenever we read a story, I always ask him, Mijo, what is the leadership lesson of the day? And he amazes me because I might have something that I think is a lesson, but he will capture something that I never even anticipated. So I would love to know, Ty, how can we really develop this love for reading in our cultures, in our communities, and to our children and to our precious grandchildren?
So one of the things that you're doing is the foundation on how we do exactly that, and that's your role modeling the importance of reading. We all can look at ourselves objectively, and our childhood impact who we are today. And the majority of us can say tremendously. We are actually byproducts of our childhood on the things we were exposed to and the things we weren't exposed to. And usually, not in every case, but in most cases, those who are avid readers very early age, and it has become part of their, their being of being read to from a mom, a parent, a grandparent, or a teacher who really invested and cared in them. And you mentioned that your grandson is only 6 years old. And still time to read, but even more ideal is honestly the moment you find out you're pregnant. You should be reading to your child in utero. You should be reading to your child in the womb. Not only so because your child can actually hear you in utero, but so that you can get of reading to your child, even while they're in your womb. And so that once the child comes out, you are literally setting from the get go, from day one, this matters. I'm going to instill this gift of literacy to you as early as possible to cultivate with you for the rest of your life. So, one of the things we actually have to do is do it as early, and I mean as early as humanly possible. And the other thing that we have to do, because I want to be real about reading also, while reading is one of my joys, it's not my primary joy. I love watching movies. I love going on social media. I love playing video games. I love going outside to play. I love hanging out with my friends. Reading is not an or, it's an and. It's something that we should be doing in addition to. We shouldn't read or play video games. We should read and play video games. We shouldn't read and or play with our friends. We should read and play with our friends. So making sure that we're budgeting time for kids to do all the things that they enjoy, including reading, is integral. And with kids having so many options today, you don't have to hit them over the head and let them read for half an hour. You know what is awesome? If your kid squeezed in 15 minutes a day from their busy day of homework, of social media, of playing with their friends, of doing their chores, if they got in 15 minutes, 15 minutes is about an average of 10 books a year. If your kid can get in 10 books a year, they are a rock star.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I told you guys this is going to be fire. Reading to your baby in utero, that I never even thought about that, but you are so on point. And it's really creating this culture, right? The awareness of reading is something where you can find those, whatever you want to learn about, those secrets, whatever you want to master.
Yeah,
So your child, all of our kids go through these different phases. So we had the dinosaur phase, we had the Star Wars phase, right? Where now we're going through. And I think that sometimes people think it means only that they're reading, but it's also, in my mind, I'd love to know your thoughts about this, Ty, is just getting the exposure to the books. So mazes, word searches, find like where's Waldo, right? Just getting that exposure to
yeah,
different types of literature, and so that it becomes part of who they are. Well, how do you feel about that, Ty?
yeah. Important that is enough. Reading should not primarily be just books. If kids want to read magazines, that's fantastic. If they want to read graphic novels, that's amazing. Like if they want to read on their tablet, that's fantastic. Like we can't compartmentalize and think that our old school way of reading is the way that we reach kids they are. And if they want to read from a device or if they want to read a magazine or if they're, whatever their primary means of reading is, that we need to meet them there. But I think one of the other things, there are two things that I also want to make sure that we're adding to the components of reading. We have to make it fun. It just shouldn't just into a corner, read for 15 minutes, and when you're done. You know what? One of the things I emphasize is that your child should have their own little reading nook. Get like a little beanbag chair and maybe even special little snacks with a book light that with their favorite character on it, and maybe even special pajamas that they can wear that they do just special. Make it something that's fun and entertaining. And then find other creative ways to make reading fun, from acting out scenes from a play from a book, especially if that book is the foundation of a movie. And that's one of the other things you can do. You can read the book before movie or Wizard of Oz or Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs or Shrek. Like there are thousands of books that have been translated into movies and tend to watch those two things together. But one of the other things I think it's one of my favorite things to encourage kids to read, when a parent tells me there's one simple question: when was the last time you took your child to a bookstore? And
Yeah.
I can't tell you that 80% of the time they'll say, I've never taken my child to a bookstore. So, like, you're telling me your child doesn't like to read, yet the primary place where you would introduce them to books, this is what you do. Take them on a Saturday, to your local bookstore and put $20 in their hands and let them roam. Watch over them, of course, but let them have the feeling of independence to go out and choose the book of their choice. And there's something about picking out their book, the book that speaks to them, that even like for the book when they go up to the cashier, to kind of give them a feeling of independence. I picked my own book and I paid for it myself. That feeling of independence really matters. And if you do that once a month, then you just added 12 books to a library that they can have for the rest of their lives with a book of their choice. Libraries are great, but the problem with libraries is that you don't own the book. So go into the bookstore once a month, splurge it on 20 bucks, 10 bucks, or whatever it is that you can afford. Let a child pick their own book. Not only gives them a feeling of independence, but adds to their personal library.
Woo, so much to unpack there. We got a few more people joining us. I want to make sure we welcome them, and then we're going to definitely unpack some of that. I love what you said. We have my incredible friend,
Awesome.
Miss
Hi,
Glenda
Lisa.
Roll, who's also has joined us. She had this incredible comment here. Reading is more important, not just learning, but also building relationships with your children. I
Amen.
love that comment. I love that, Glenda. And Glenda's going to be a guest
Love that,
speaker.
Glenda.
We're actually doing some collaborations. I'm super excited for the work that we're going to do here
Very
together.
cool.
And then we have my good friend, my Uncle Jesse Staton joining us. He is Golden Army Fitness. If you want to get inspired to start on your fitness journey, you have to connect with my good friend, Jesse. In fact, Jesse, put your Instagram handle in the comments. He has incredible content on
Oh,
LinkedIn,
Jesse.
but want to check him out on Instagram. He's amazing, so inspirational. And so let's kind of go back to, one more person. I'm so sorry. Miss Lisa Fevick. She is our menopause mentor. If you know anyone who's going through that change of life, or you just are a woman and you want to know about how to support your good health as our ages, ebbs and flows, and just be in the best health of your life, I'm telling you, Miss Lisa is our mentor when it comes to women's health. So I want to unpack some of the things that you said here, Ty, that was so profound. And I learned this really from our storyteller, Mr. J. Pascal. He's a storyteller, evangelist. He really teaches us about storytelling. He has an incredible new book, The Rules of Engagement. But what I used to do was we would read a book and then we'd have story time. And I probably kind of mucked it up. That wasn't his favorite part. He would always say, Gabs, can we just read books? Like the story time wasn't that great. But, I kind of have learned, and that part has now become his most favorite part. He loves acting out the story. So after we read our book, we go into story time. And, I say that I tell the story, but really he does. He's like us. He'll say, okay, Gams, what's the story? And I'll come up with something and he'll say, okay, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then, okay, let me show you. And then he wants to do shadow puppets, right? I mean, he just and then he's doing voice characters. I mean, and what's happening is, I'm hoping and I'm praying that this is really helping him to develop his imagination, his creativity, and also his love and passion for reading, and understanding that it's more than just, okay, I'm going to put on a timer. You have to read for 10 minutes. You got to read for 15 minutes. So I love what you shared about that. And then also, of course, this is the money show. This is Wealthy Wednesday. So I love what you shared about giving the little one, or even if they're older, right? It doesn't have to be if they're just toddlers or preschool age.
Oh, of course.
Giving a child an opportunity to go in and purchase their own books, empowering them. And I'm going to kind of upgrade a little bit. Maybe they get an allowance if they do some special tasks at home, or maybe they have something that they're earning doing some babysitting. If they take their own money and they pick out a selection and they go to the cash register, they put up the money, and then they receive the change, like you are really creating some really amazing synapses in their mind, right? You're solidifying that money is good, that money does great things. Look at this, how much enjoyment we get out of this. And then even you can write a little message in the book. Let them know, hey, you know what? You bought this with your money. I'm so proud of you, and allow them to really own that. So I love what you said. That was really powerful, Ty.
Yeah. Not to mention on a social level, the interaction with the cashier or the salesperson, just that banter, to be able to engage with someone on a personal level, because they usually only see their parents in that engagement. So now here they are handing, and having a transaction, maybe even a conversation, just an added social component to make them feel like, yeah, I'm a big boy girl now. Like I pay for my own stuff now. I can engage with the salesperson. I think it opens up a tremendous amount of opportunity, not just for their reading prowess, but for also their social engagement.
100,000%. And Jesse Staten has this comment. Yes, it must be fun so they'll be able to open up and realize their potential. That's so good. I'm going to read it again. It must be fun so that they will be able to open up and realize their own potential, making their own decisions. Sometimes as parents, and listen, I'm going to say this. Let me start here. I believe I'm a much better grandparent than I was a parent. I think that I was more of a popular type of parent. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. I'm getting better every day.
Sure.
But allowing our children to really step into who they are and what is important and what excites them. It may be something that you really have no idea. It may be something that you have really no knowledge about. My precious grandson loves fishing. He loves fish. He loves learning about fish. He loves talking about fish. He wants to start a YouTube channel about fishing. He studies fish. He's got this pro bass fishing show that he goes on Instagram and just learns so
Wow,
much. So allow them
that's
to
amazing.
cultivate that, even if it's something that you don't have an expertise in. Right, Ty? Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. The more we give them the independence to be able to showcase their strengths and their joys, the more that they're going to be more prepared to get out into the world and build a better life for themselves, knowing that I'm responsible. Like, oh, I can purchase my own books, I can do my own things, and that's where true independence comes from having it instilled at an early age and allowing kids to make mistakes, allowing kids to have their own victories, like doing all these things are going to better prepare them for the world they have ahead.
Gosh, I love that you said that. And it goes right into line to Jesse's comment. He says, bookstores are where you find communities of people that share the same interests. So, gosh, I think that's fire because I think we've kind of
Agree.
lost touch with our communities. We kind of, well, I'm just going to say my observation. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of see a lot of people operating within their own silo, and they forget that we are connected to each other. Listen, good, bad, or indifferent, we're in this together. We all need each
Yeah.
other. And being connected to our communities, that's where philanthropic comes in. That's where nonprofits come in. That's where coming back and donating to your time. A lot of times people tell me, oh, Leah, you know what? Money doesn't buy everything. And I'll give you that. But broke doesn't buy anything. And what I mean by that is, once I have more, I can give more. And it's wonderful to donate your
That's right.
time, but these nonprofits are looking for somebody who can write a check with some zeros. Right. And
Yeah,
so when we
no,
connect our children to the community as they grow up, they're going to be more apt to come back and give their time, give their money, to give their resources to the community. And I think that's something that is kind of, we've lost our way a little bit. What do you think about that, Ty?
I think from things like COVID to social media have kind of isolated us, especially our children having grown up in the for a good 3 years of their lives, they were isolated from their friends, from their family, from just natural human engagement. You compound that with social media. I never want to demonize social media or technology as a whole, but it has forced us to kind of remove our community in a personal way. Now it has also opened us up globally because for example, you and I would not have found each other if it wasn't for
That's
social
right.
media. But I think we have to compartmentalize and go, that social media provides a tool in this way of replace social engagement, which you need to have to be able to really grow and thrive and develop personality and character and meeting people in person where they are. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, that's so good. And then we have my good friend Kendra Knoll joining us. She's tuning in from Wyoming. So, by the way, where are you tuning in from? I'm in downtown Monterey, California. It is so cold here. I say
Okay.
it's so cold. It's like 52 degrees. Okay, we're pansies here in California. I don't know what else to say. I know it's snowing in a lot of parts. I don't know, Kendra, is
Yeah.
it snowing where you are? She owns Boom Tag Media. If you are looking to upgrade your social media game, you are not sure how this social media thing works, and you're just getting that going, I honestly tell you, you need to really
Mm.
connect with Messenger. She's going to help you step into it. We got to thrive in 2025, and we have to all understand social media is an element of us as business owners and entrepreneurs thriving. So, and then we have Miss Ronnie joining us from New York. Is it cold there where you are, Miss Ronnie?
Hey, Ronnie.
I think
Oh,
it's
I know it's cold in New
snowing.
York.
Yeah, I believe it's snowing there is what they say.
Yeah.
I kind of want to pivot just a little bit. Let's see. We got Mr. Jesse here. I want to pivot a little bit more to what you share, some of the things you share on Instagram. That's really what attracted me. I love the
Okay.
reading, absolutely. But you share a lot of wisdom. I call them golden nuggets. You share a lot of golden nuggets about how to empower our children. And again, this is something that I'm going to say that I didn't really embrace when my children were little. I didn't really understand and grasp that I was raising them to be independent adults, right? I just didn't understand that concept. I was raising them, I thought to be, I wasn't really sure. Maybe I wasn't really sure. But now I really understand that we have to embrace that we are raising our children so that they can be independent uh, people who are contributing to our society. And a lot of what you share on Instagram is really about that empowerment. How did you discover that, or is that been something you've always done?
A great fortune of being an independent children's book author for years now. And I get the opportunity to tour the country and talk to children about the power and the importance of reading. And there are many things that I pick up. A lot of kids don't like to read, and I inquire and pry with them about why it is that they don't like to read, and amongst other things. But the main thing children, and this applies to adults too, is that every single one of them, they just want to be seen and heard. Like they want their voice to matter. They want to be respected. And I think that we miss that. I think that we miss that, yes, by all people, and that we have to engage with them on a personal level. So one of the things I always try to do, not just in my work but in my advocacy, is I always try to speak up to them. I don't want to use their language to them. I want them to reach me where I am. I'm going to use my language and speak to different than I would speak to you. And if there's something that they didn't understand, I would explain it to them for their growth. So we have to do a better job of speaking up to our kids. Don't speak down. Don't use baby language. Don't use baby talk. You have to meet kids where they are. One of the great pieces of advice I received when I became a new parent, when your newborn comes home, especially for the first couple of months, don't adjust your environment for them. Don't turn down the TV. Don't walk really quiet. Don't do, your child will adjust to your lifestyle. Don't change anything. Make sure that you are the child will adjust. If you walk on eggshells and turn everything down and only speak in a whisper, then the moment that you become yourself, now the baby's thrown off. So it's essential to provide an environment of normalcy, to provide an environment of uplifting. Like, let's be engaging with these hundreds of thousands of children. I notice they all want to be seen, they all want to be heard, they all want their voice to matter. And we need to do and give them the respect that it is that they deserve. And really, all my principles from my nuggets that I offer are really just basically thing that I'm saying is revolutionary. I don't have a degree in child psychology or anything else. I just kind of remember the basics of what it was like to raise little kids and wanting to spend quality time with them and kind of, not so much be to be a guide for them and to me to do things on their own, make their own mistakes, learn from their mistakes. Also, if in uplift, acknowledge their failures, but also uplift their victories, and just really have a very common sense component to engaging with our kids. And that's pretty
Man.
much what I preach. Just love, honor, respect our children.
And what I would say, I want to highlight what you're alluding to, and that is we have to allow our children to have their own experiences, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a little, they muck it up a little bit. And I always think about
Yeah.
the butterfly, right? The butterfly cannot, if we open up the cocoon, the butterfly will not be able to fly. We have to allow that butterfly to go through their struggles. And I will tell you, as
Yeah.
as a parent and as a parent, it is difficult to watch our children struggle, right? We want to be there. We want to fix it all up. We want to love them all up, and we want to put them in this beautiful little plastic bubble and have nothing hurt them, nothing. But really, we have
Yeah,
to embrace that they have to go through the struggle. They have to make their own messes and then find ways
absolutely.
empowered so that they can get through that, because we're not going to be there forever with them.
Absolutely. I think one of the fun things that I emphasize to parents is let your child help you cook. Help your child. First thing a parent will say is that, yeah, but all it's going to do is slow me down. That's the point. That's the point. Let it slow you down, to spend quality time with one another, to get them to learn whatever new skill they need to develop, to have them have this experience. Like slowing down is actually the point. Continue to do that with your child will get better and then alleviate you from having to do the task. Now your child is able to do the cleaning. Now your child is able to do the cooking because you spent that time investing with them so that they can learn. So yeah, we need to interact and our lives, and not just for their benefit but for ours as well. Teaching my ex-wife was adamant about teaching my son how to cook, and from a very early age he would cut up the vegetables or just do whatever task she needed. And now he's an executive chef, and not to mention an incredible kid. So yes, initially it slowed down to teach him how to cut it right without hurting himself, or how to measure a specific type of ingredient. Yes, that took time. But eventually it alleviated her from having to do the cooking because now he's the chef and he's doing his own cooking.
I love that. That's so
I
good.
just think that level of engagement is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we have to slow down to speed up, right? We have to slow down to speed
Amen.
up.
There you go.
We've got
That's it.
we're going to take a little intermission here. We have a word from our sponsor, and you're going to love this, guys. This is so cool. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth, the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leahgarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.
Is that so cool or what? I got to give a shout out to my incredible
And
social
all
media
of your
team, the Hello LLC. Thank you so much they make me look so good. So the Wall of Wealth is a financial plan, right? It's the foundation. But I say the infrastructure is our growth money mind shift. And a lot of times when it comes to money, we don't realize what kind of fears that we're embedding into our children. Things like money doesn't grow on trees and we can't afford that, and things of that nature. And I think what you've done is you're doing a lot of really embedding empowering beliefs. So what is it that you teach about money to children? I love to hear this.
one of the things I emphasize is that money is not good and money is not bad. Money is a tool. And like any tool, it's important to know how to use it. We often think kids think that all of their problems. Well, we know as adults that's not true. It actually, Biggie said, "Mo money, mo problems." So we know that that's not true. But then kids also believe that money is the root of all evil, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like I said before, money's not good, money's not bad. It's a tool. It's important to know how to use it. If I had a hammer, I could build a really cool table with the hammer. I could use that same hammer to break the table. It's not the hammer, it's the person using the hammer. Money's the same way. Money is an amazing tool you can use to literally make the world a better place. Or the money, it's the person using the money. So always think about who you are and what matters to you and what you represent, because that's how you're going to use money and to build a better life for you, for your family, for your community. So that's one of the first things, one of the first stigmas I want to kids, that money is evil. Money's not evil. No more than social media is evil. No more, these are all tools that we use for the betterment of our lives, and it's contingent upon the user. So that's really one of the first things that I want to emphasize. And that money, it doesn't make you happy, but it is a catalyst for growth. It is something that can enhance your life because it's hard to save the world if you're homeless. It's hard to make a difference in your life if you don't have any. So it is important to be able to have this really good positive relationship with money, but to be able to treat it with honor and respect. If money was a friend and we treated it like it's the root of all evil, money would never hang around us. It would want nothing to do with us. So if you have this "I love money" kind of mantra, that money is an amazing friend to me, and it mindset of money being something good, something constructive, something for the betterment of your life, and it's not this evil entity where people where it's the demise of so many.
Yeah, so profound, Ty. And we got a few more people I want to welcome in. And Miss Ronnie said that yes, it's 20 degrees in Manhattan. I'm so glad I'm here in California. I think it's going to be 62 degrees, and we're pretty happy here. And we have one of my new
Yeah.
friends joining us, Mr. Jason Wilson. Listen, I'm just getting to know him, but he's a podcast entrepreneur. I'm not sure everything he does, but you got to follow him. I know he's probably critiquing me right now. He's probably got a whole thing, lot of list of things that I need to improve. But thank you for joining us, Mr. Jason. And then I want to circle back to Mr. Gregory. Gregory and I have known each other for a little while now. He has a securities business, like physical
Wow.
business, running a security company. And when I met him, he was just starting out. He was just starting out, but he had a dream, he had a vision. And what I said in the beginning is you truly cannot measure the heart of a champion by looking at them. He was facing this adversity, but he kept on with his vision. And now he has over 50 employees running his company. That's
Oh my
incredible.
gosh.
That's incredible. And then we're talking
Wow.
about in
That's
a
really
year.
amazing.
It's huge. And so I think that all of this conversation speaks to this is that we want our children. It's my intention for my children to do better than me and my grandchildren. I have one precious grandson. I'm praying for more, but they should definitely outdo us. So when we're talking about the money mindset, Ty, I love what you said is that helping them to embrace having a relationship with money. So, what are maybe one or two things that we can do incorporating the reading into money?
Well, purchase books about money, which is why I created two of them, to be able to introduce money that's easy for them to understand. I think what's important is that a lot of parents, myself growing up included, we're not very financially savvy. And we don't do a good job of promoting something that we're not fluent in. And so it's important to be able to have the conversation that we wish we had. And you can educate yourself so that you can educate your child, or maybe even more powerful, you can educate yourselves together. How much power would it be for you to say, you know what? Money is going to be one of the most important components to our life. Outside of our health, knowing about money is probably the most important that we're going to learn to help lift our quality of life. But I don't know that much about it. How about we learn together? And like just that sense of humility to be able to say, I don't know, but I know it's important enough to invest in on us as a family to learn so that we can lift up is so powerful by itself. Our kids know think that we're this superhuman entity that knows all and does all, and we're just not. It's okay to let them know that we're fallible. It's okay to know that we don't know, and even more powerful to say, not only do I want to learn, but I want us to learn together as a family. Sources in the books that we can get together so that we can learn as a family. And the two books that I've written are both books that kind of are the conversation I wish I had as a kid. And my first book is titled Danny Dollar. It teaches kids about finance and entrepreneurship within a really fun, engaging story. sold over 250,000 copies of this book, and it literally has changed my life. And my most recent book is titled "Make Your Own Money: How to Earn It, Save It, Spend It, and Dream Big." And this book is more of a blueprint. Like, it literally step by step says, what is money? How do you earn it? How do you save it? How do you invest? How do you spend it? And how do you dream bigger so that you can use money as the tool for what it is to be able to cultivate a better life? And so, like, when we're introducing our kids to money, we need to just keep it really simple because it's such a heavy topic. I'm going to teach you about money. Like, listen, I'm still doing Pokemon. Like, what are you doing? I don't want to learn about debt, investing, and blah, 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 blah. But if it's done in a way that's palatable, that's fun and engaging, and wrapped up in a character that they can relate to, it's something that kids are going to embrace a lot more. So, and one of the other working on, um, in the past couple of years. It's called my character's name is Danny Dollar, and the program I'm working on is called the Danny Dollar Entrepreneur Fair. The premise of the fair is exactly like a science fair, but replace science with entrepreneurship. 3 years ago with 50 students. This year, over 5,000 students in 6 different states will participate in the Danny Dollar Entrepreneur Fair, and they get to showcase their strengths. The point of the program of the fair is for them to showcase and highlight whatever it is for power, whatever they're great at. If they're great at tutoring math, throwing a fastball, making bracelets, braiding hair, I want you to start a business from that strength and be able to utilize that concept to, make your own money. And we with 50 students, and we're going to be at 5,000 this year. And the program is really, really incredible. But it gives the kids the opportunity to be hands on in cultivating their strengths, whatever they're great at. Not their parents, not their not them. What are you good at? And they're all good at something. Some are good at playing video games. What business can we cultivate for you playing video games? If you're good at playing basketball, what business can we cultivate? And that sense of ownership is like the game changer for I can create my own business from the thing I love to do the most.
Gosh. So it reminds me of a quote is that my mentor told me years ago, listen, have the goal to be a millionaire, a multimillionaire, not for the money, but for the person you become in the process. And imagine when a child steps into what they are good at and they can really own it. Maybe they make money at the business. Maybe they learn how to public speak. Maybe it helps them to open up another door, and allowing them to really embrace that. Again, going through the ebbs and the flows, embracing, we're going to have the great times, and then we're going to have the struggles, and really allowing them
Sure.
to be empowered in the process. That was amazing. And I want to highlight this comment here. By my good, amazing, beautiful sister, Miss Kim Martin Raymond. She says that we have placed some children in positions to have taken on adult responsibilities without allowing them to just be kids. So many are missing out on childhood and childlike experiences that we had. And what I loved is that we're talking about meet them where they are. So if they're 5 years old, we're not telling them, something that is just outside of their bandwidth, right? It is just meeting them where they are and giving them little bite-sized responsibilities that aren't life-threatening, that we're not expecting them to be 5 years old and cook a meal for all of us. And, we're not giving them any guidance. It's really giving them that responsibility within themselves that they're really ready for. So that was a really profound comment. And I apologize. I did miss one comment that I wanted to highlight. We have Miss Jo here. Oh, she said Chronicles of Narnia. Yes, that's a great series. It's about, I love the books. And I'm actually creating my Wall of Wealth for children. Super excited about that. So find ways
Also,
that you can
very cool.
enrich them and have experiences financially that aren't life-threatening. That really are just going to allow that are not totally life threatening, right? We read this book and we can do things that are within our safety net. If we don't have oodles of extra dollars, maybe it's something that we save up for. You know, bringing the awareness, bringing a family dream, a family vision, something that we're going to do, and also giving back. I'd love for you to talk a little bit, because I see a lot of this on your Instagram. What are some ways that some little ones can give back to the community, even when they're little or even like teenage years?
I think one of the first things we need to do is actually introduce our children to the. I think we isolate them very much to their immediate areas, and I think it's so important to like go for a long walk and get to see, you know, learn who your neighbors are, learn to see the businesses and organizations that surround your community, and not just drive past them, but actually get to know what, who do we live near? Who are our neighbors? And I know growing up as a kid, you knew everybody in every area. And now you don't know the person that lives right next door to you. So I think step one is to actually get to know the community in which you live. And then secondly, like figure out what they are. I know where I live here in Fresno, California, there seems to be a lot of stray animals. I don't know why that is. I just moved here recently, but you know, like, and maybe that's a cause that I think would matter to me, which or more importantly, what cause does matter to me? Like what is it do to be able to make this world a better place? And we can, when we think of it in like this big macro way of like making the world a better place, how about just your world? Like we can macro it down to like what little thing matters to you, and maybe it is just the couple of puppies or feral puppies that you can make better, or maybe you know there's the supporting the elderly in whatever capacity it is that you think is important because you have a grandmother or a grandparent that's struggling. um you know, figuring out who your community is, what are the needs within the community, and also what really matters to you like the community thrive in, are really just simple basic things that we can start, and then from there maybe there are things you can do, like opening up a lemonade stand, which is such a prototypical you know, concept in business for kids. And that, you know, you could say 50% of our proceeds are going to go to support the kids and put them in a non-kill shelter, or to be able to support the elderly at the senior center that's a mile away that I just learned about. And like, and just having this kind of infrastructure of caring, this infrastructure of getting to know your community and how you can make it better. If everybody just did a little to make their community a little bit better, we literally would have just the most amazing planet where people are just more thoughtful and caring about the people around them. And to answer Wilson's question, yes, under Ty Allen Jackson, I am on LinkedIn and pretty every other social form that you can imagine. Just search Ty Allen, Allan Jackson.
Great, great, great. I love it. Yes, Jesse, this is great. Financial literacy must be spoken about in homes, schools, community centers. My vision is to build a community center. And in my community center, it is going to be free, where I'm going to bring seniors who have knowledge and wisdom, and they have talents that they would love to impart on our youth. You know, I've got someone who could teach them painting, gardening, mechanics, different skills that they can learn, because I just believe that that builds the community. There are so many seniors that have these skills and then they retire and they don't really have anybody to really pass this down to. I think I love that, Jesse. That's really right up my alley there. That's why you're my Uncle Jesse. We definitely are on the same sheet of music. So kind of winding down here, you've done so much. You bring so much awareness, Ty. I'm so overjoyed that we were able to connect on Instagram and bring you and really showcase you here on LinkedIn and to my LinkedIn community. So what can we expect to see with all the success and everything that you've done? What can we expect to see with Ty and Danny Dollar in 2025?
So the new project that I'm working on is something I'm incredibly proud of, and it's called Mint, MINT, and Mint stands for Millionaire in Training. And so I'm building what's called the Danny Dollar Mint Kit subscription box which you would receive once a month. And within that box, you would get a book, which we all know, as you stated earlier, that reading is the one of the most important things that millionaires do to establish a millionaire's mindset. So we will include one of my books, but we will also include things, see flashcards, and also like some what I'm calling an affirmation post-it affirmations. So little kids will be able to put up I am brave, I am strong, and have these affirmations, that they can say to themselves on a daily basis to be able to like empower them, showcase not just financial literacy, but also social empathy. We want to be able to align those things. We want kids to like, I want to be successful and I want to be affluent and I want to do my part to make the world a better place. Like, not all millionaires are Scrooge McDuck or whatever the mean guy. We want financial literacy to also segue into making our communities better, and having this mint kit, I think, is going to be a really fun, creative way that parents can gift this to their kids and say, I want you to be successful, going to help you establish a millionaire's mindset to do just that.
Gosh, that's so fire. And think about that. The parents can go along with the process together. One thing that I love to do is ask my precious grandson, what did you learn that you can teach me? And you should see
Mm,
if I just ask him, how was your day or how was school? He might say something, but then he might say, oh, I don't know, I don't remember. But if I ask him, what did you learn today
yeah,
that you could teach me? That transforms the conversation. So imagine the parents going through
okay,
your courses together, right? That you're willing to humble
yeah,
ourselves and to say, listen, I don't know this yet, but we're gonna bond and we're gonna learn this together. Because I truly believe that it is time for us to break those generational curses. It is time for us to break our
amen,
growth money mindset. I don't think growth mindset
absolutely.
is congruent. I talk about a growth money mind shift. We have to shift our thinking. We have to shift what we believed or what thought we believed and knew about money. It is time for us to truly create generational wealth. And it doesn't start or it doesn't happen just by accident. We have to have a true financial plan, not just to accumulate this wealth, but how to protect it, how to distribute it, and how to transfer this so that it thrives throughout multiple generations. And that's truly what you're doing, Ty. That's why I think like you're my soulmate.
And
This
not
is so
only that,
incredible. I absolutely
oh my
love this.
baby, I love that so much.
I
I love
love
that.
it.
And one thing
And
I want to emphasize, compounding, is let's figure out ways to have fun doing it. Let's stop thinking the stigma of work and making money is something that is downtrodden. It's something I hate to do. Like, someone once asked me, what's the fastest way to make money? You're asking the wrong question. The question is, what's the most fun way you can make money? You're thinking there's a fun way to do it. So, like, emphasize to your kid, what fun thing can we do to make money? Let's stop aligning work and despair, work and I hate Mondays, work and like I can't stand what I do. What you do is your choice. You get to. So, like, let's figure out ways to kind of repurpose and reinvent what it means to make money and to be successful, and find joy and fun in being able to do it. And not just for the kids, but for you too as an adult. Like, figure out what's your generate wealth from that happy place. And yes, the Dandy Dollar Mint Kit, it's going to vary in ages. We're going to do it predominantly for elementary schools. So there will be 3 kits. There will be a K1 and 2 kit, a 3, 4, and then a 5 and 6 kit. And all kits will kind of include something for each range. Like, we'll have a little piggy bank for the little ones, but for the older ones, we will have the alphabet financial literacy alphabet flashcards, and then later we'll have the affirmation cards. So I'm still working on it. It's still in the conceptual stages, but I know, look for it to come out sometime by summer.
that's incredible. This is so amazing. I love all the comments. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, community.
Woo!
I love all of you. And I have to share this. Listen, when I started this podcast, it wasn't a podcast, okay? It was a little live that I did I just had this vision. It was really a divine download. God just told me that I needed to do this. I didn't want to be on camera. This is not something that I really envisioned doing, but I was obedient. And I had no idea who my guests would be. I had 3 friends that I asked them, will you be my first guest speakers? And here I am. I've done this now for over a year. And my show is booked now through April. And why I'm sharing that is, what is your dream? What is your vision? What is the step that you need to take to inspire others, to showcase others? We talk about collaborations a lot of times, but what are we really doing to collaborate and work together and uplift one another? So this has been incredible, Ty. I know a ton of people want to reach you. Where can they find you? How do they reach you? How do they get in touch with you?
So my primary place is on Instagram. That's kind of my home. That's how you and I met. So Jackson is my handle. Just be aware there are unfortunately a lot of fake accounts who have stolen my images and made fake accounts. So I'm verified and have a pretty decent following on Instagram, but pretty much every other social media platform from Facebook to LinkedIn, obviously TikTok, and even Snapchat, which I'm not on that often, but I'm pretty much on every on every platform. And then of course there's my website, which is tyallenjackson.com. Please feel free. It's where you can purchase my books, and also, I go to organizations around the country talking to children about as well as financial literacy. So yeah, I'm not hard to find, baby. I am not hard to find.
And definitely, and also make sure, Ty, that you put your links in the chat when we log out here, so that people can go ahead and
Okay.
follow you and reach out to you and purchase your books for sure. Thank you so much, my girl Victoria, for joining us. We appreciate you. And that's going to kind of wind it down. Today was incredible. I was really so elated and overjoyed when Ty agreed to do this, because I hadn't really ever spoken to him before. I was just sharing his post, right? I just thought they were so powerful. So thank you so much, Ty, for taking time away from your business and your family to be with us here today. And so if you are looking to upgrade your financial house, listen, this is 2025. We got to be ready to thrive in 2025. And what does that mean? Getting our financial house in order, and also creating those additional income streams. If you would like to create some income streams, some passive income, I am looking to build my team. I'm looking for some incredible champions. And if that's you, I'd love to chat with you. So thank you so much, Ty. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I appreciate all the comments. This was so much fun. I'm excited for what you're learning here. And we're all in this process together, right? I come here as a speaker, but I really come here as a student. Thank you for the golden nuggets that you shared with us, Tom. We appreciate you. And I know 2025 is going to be our year. We're all going to take it to that next level. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Hey there, I'm Leah Garcia. Have you ever wanted a career where you truly make a difference in people's lives? I'm building a team of driven financial and insurance professionals, people who want to help families and businesses protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth with confidence. If you're passionate about guiding others to achieve financial security, then you're exactly who I'm looking for. Join my supportive, growth-oriented environment and unlock your full potential. Ready to take the next step? Visit leahgarcia.io and let's start building your future together.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week.